This is Budweiser Gardens, where, in a way, everything is new again when you compare these two teams. It's the London Lightning playing host to the Niagara River Lions, and we welcome you and say good evening, because this is Aaron Sanders alongside Chris Croucher. And for both of these clubs, like I mentioned, it's back to the drawing board. Niagara, they picked up a couple of tough losses, but things might get better because of a new coach in line.
And yeah, I think it's a very interesting hire too. The new head coach is Keith Vassell, who of course was a coach at Niagara College before this. He worked with Gros Lacolle before. And having a new coach really can spark a lot of different things in your team. For example, all of a sudden guys who are on the bench, they have a shot in an expanded role now if they can impress the new coach. Guys who maybe thought they needed more plays called for them, now there's a chance that a guy starts calling those plays for them. And so I think it's going to be a bit of a kick in the rear for the Niagara River Lions. But it's also a time that says that there's no more excuses because they've changed up players when they added Scoop Jardine. They've changed up the coach now. Now it's time for them to perform, and we get the first look at that tonight against Lightning.
And there's no question about it. They have a 7-15 record. Keith Vassell is one of the most well-disciplined coaches around Niagara, and this is a big plus for them. On the other hand, we have the London Lightning. Here is why they have to go back to the drawing board. Their 14-game winning streak is broken, the biggest in the league. So now you got to shake it off, if you will. So what do you have to expect from the Lightning in order to persevere and probably get some vengeance tonight?
Well, I think for the Lightning, it was almost a good thing that they lost. Things were starting to come a little bit too easily for them. And this is kind of a reminder that, this is professional basketball. Teams can beat you on any given night. And so for the Lightning coming into this game, there's going to be some vengeance. They've got a little bit of blood in the water to kind of get them a little excited for this game. So they get to come out here looking for vengeance against a Niagara team that they always have really heated contests with. I mean, even back to the home opener, which was a super close game. These two teams can put on a show, and I look for some of that tonight.
And London leads the season series 6-1, and that one is very particular because that one is the only time they have lost at home, and that was against the River Lions, like you said. So we go over to the keys to the game. What do you expect from both clubs tonight? What do they have to do?
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting front court battle tonight. You've got two sides that play two different ways with their front court. You've got London that likes to have that mobile front court with Julian Boyd and Royce White. And with Royce White, the way he moves the ball, and they're a bit burlier too. They're not as long and lanky as the Niagara guys. So for London, it's going to be kind of about pounding the opponent and just beating them up down low. For Niagara, you want to use that length, and they've got guys who can be interesting pieces like Sam Muldrow because he can stretch the floor and be that big guy, that long athletic guy. Same with Chris Commons. So if Niagara can get those three-point shooters to draw out guys like Royce White and Julian Boyd away from the paint, I think that opens up a lot for them on the inside as well. For maybe cuts and drives, a guy like Scoop Jardine could feast if that happens.
And that's really good insight. This is for both teams. Number one, you got to establish a pace because this is the London Lightning team that goes out on a great start, and Niagara got to pick up on that in order to have a chance for them to beat them tonight. Second off, you got to be boss of the boards because look how close the rebounding per game is. Niagara, 45 rebounds a game. London, 48 rebounds a game. So you got to establish where your boss at. So picking boards off the glass is a good thing. And number three, establish a good pick and roll game because there's nothing wrong with going with the textbook play like the pick and roll.
Well, I mean, a guy like Scoop Jardine, again, if you have that floor spacing, you can make those cuts. You can set up those pick and rolls. And having a guy like Muldrow in common who can also do the pick and pop too, just gives them that versatility in the front court that has the potential to give London fits. We'll see how they scheme for it.
All right, and folks, it's time to rock and roll. We got the anthem and then the starters, and then Chris will be upstairs with Brendan on the call. I will see you folks at halftime, so stick around. Niagara River Lions and the London Lightning at Budweiser Gardens. We'll be back right after the anthem here on Knockstrom.tv.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a friend of the Lightning family, Mr. John Fonte, passed away earlier this week. At this time, we would ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor a moment of silence in remembrance of Mr. John Fonte. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we would ask that you please remain standing for the singing of the Canadian National Anthem to be performed by Science. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love. In all our sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's game includes our friends from...
Hi there, Lightning fans. Welcome to today's broadcast of the game, London Lightning versus the Niagara River Lions. I'm Brendan Jameson here with my good friend Chris Croucher. Chris, we're in for a good game today.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Of course, London hasn't been able to play at home in a very long time, almost 3 weeks. So this is the first time in a while that they've been able to play in front of their Budweiser Gardens crowd. And I think that really sparks them when they get to play in front of this crowd, so it'll be interesting to see if that happens in this game.
Now, Niagara look like they're playing with a short bench today, only 9 players there. Do you expect that to affect them later on in the game?
Well, they've been dealing with injury issues all year. Of course, they've got the reigning league MVP, Logan Stutz, who hasn't been able to play nearly as much as I think he or the team would like him to be able to. And that's going to affect this team quite a bit, but they're starting to get used to playing without those guys. And they've got an interesting little hitch to the plan, too, in that they've got a new head coach right now in Keith Vassell. And I think those two things should make this a very different-looking Niagara team than we've seen in the past.
What do you think's number one on the Lightning's list for coming out and starting off a good game here?
I think they want to go down low early. Niagara has bigs who are long, but not necessarily as muscular as the London Lightning bigs and Julian Boyd and Royce White. So you want to have London's bigs kind of beat them up a bit down low, get some buckets in the paint, get those rebounds. They've won the board battle almost every time that they played against the Niagara River Lions, and they're really going to need that again tonight.
And what would you look for Niagara to come out and do today?
Well, as I mentioned in the pregame with Aaron there, I think they're really going to work on getting the floor spacing from those guys like Muldrow and like Sam Muldrow and Chris Commons, because if you can have them perform as bigs, what they do is they draw guys like White and Boyd out of the paint because they can't just sit there and defend anymore. Now they've got to go out to the three-point line to cover that. And I think if you take those guys out of the paint, it sets up the cuts to the basket that guys like Scoop Jardine, guys like Sammy Zaglinski kind of like to make. So I think if you set them up that way, it can be very beneficial for the Niagara River Lions, but they got to be able to make those shots when they do get those openings.
If we're going to pick an edge here today, who you got to give it to?
I think the edge is rather clearly in London's favor. They've got the 18-4 record, and I know they lost to Windsor on Wednesday, but I mean they won 14 straight before that. So for London, it's a bit of a revenge game because they weren't happy about the way they lost to Windsor. It was a was a pretty good beatdown that Windsor laid on them. So I think for London, they're going to want to come out strong and just kind of give the NBLC a reminder of why they're at the top of the Central Conference. This could be a bit of a trick game for them, though, because you've got that new coach on Niagara. All of a sudden, a team that you thought you knew, you've got them playing different systems, you've got them running a different brand of basketball. It can really change the look of a team by having a new coach. So that's one of the things that I think Niagara can throw a little hitch into the plan with, is maybe run some stuff that London wasn't ready for. I remember I was talking with Coach Julius before the game, and one of the things we talked about was the fact that when you get a new coach, it kind of gives you that spark. It gets you ready, as we got a little ceremony going here.
Alicia Newman will be enjoying the rest of the game, but Mike DeLuca, let's find out who's playing tonight. Thanks, Al. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's meet the starting lineups for both teams. First, the starting lineup for the visiting Niagara River Lions. That card, 6'4", from Langdon, number 4, Tyler Murray. That guard at 6'6", from Eastern Kentucky, number 12, Marcus Lewis.
Do you expect any surprises at starting the lineups here for us today, or just the usual for the Lightning?
I think for the Lightning, they've got kind of their starters pretty well set. They like the guys that they have. I don't really expect anything too shocking to come from the Lightning. And for the Niagara River Lions, they're announcing it right now. I don't expect them to be too drastically different either. New coach Keith Vassell really hasn't had that much time to get familiar with his team. It's been a quick turnaround from when he was announced on March 9th to today. 2 days later, he's got his first game. So I think for the Niagara River Lions, there's going to be a bit of a feeling out process at the start of the game too, of trying to figure out, for Keith anyway, trying to figure out which guys he likes, which lineups he likes, what kind of plays he can run with what lineups. And a bit of a learning process too. So unfortunately, when you play the London Lightning, they don't really give you much space to work things out. So I think for Niagara, it's going to be important to execute very quickly, because London's been known to really blow the doors off early and turn it into a barn burner. So we'll have to see how this night goes for them.
And from Coach Julius, what do you expect for him as far as calls with lineups and substitutions to, maybe affect what Niagara's trying to do with this, maybe an up-tempo, try to impress the coach, getting some new guys in the lineups?
Pardon me?
What do you expect the coach to do to kind of counteract what Vassell might be trying to do with his squad over there?
Well, I think it's about executing what you've been working on leading up to this the entire time. Everything you've been doing all season has been working. So, I mean, you just have to keep doing the same things that have been working for you. I don't think there's going to be too drastic a change in terms of their play calling. Keith Vassell, of course, coached at Niagara College, which is the same coaching tree that Gross-Nicoli comes from. So I can't imagine their mentalities and the way they run the game is going to be drastically different. But even given that, you never really know until the game actually starts. And we're just about to start here. One of the things they just announced, starting lineups, I'll get you guys that. You've got kind of an interesting one. It's Tyler Murray in at point guard for the Niagara River Lions. We're also going to see Marcus Lewis, Scoop Jardine, Kirk Williams Jr., and Carl Hall are your starters for the Niagara River Lions. For London, they're just about to announce them, but we cheated and got them a little early. You've got Junior Cadogan at point guard, Joel Friesen, Ryan Anderson, Marvin Phillips, and Royce White. So that's a bit of a different look for the London Lightning, because you have Phillips in that starting lineup now. He's been inserted there, not Julian Boyd. So that's kind of an interesting look from the Lightning.
And what does Phillips bring to the floor that Julian Boyd maybe doesn't, that might be throwing a wrench in Niagara's plan here?
Well, I'm not going to lie, they're pretty similar players. There's not a ton that's all that different. But with Phillips, you get a bit more of not that Julian Boyd is soft, he's not at all, but Phillips is a little bit more aggressive when he's down low. He's a bit more of the dog, as he likes to call himself. The dog is back. He's got that kind of a mentality when he's in the paint, whereas Julian Boyd is, a little more likely to drift out to the three-point line, but he's very smart about it. Stylistically, though, they are very similar players, so for London, it's really a matter of plug and play.
And you had mentioned some surprises in the lineup with the Niagara River Lions.
Yeah, Tyler Murray is a guy who we haven't seen a ton of starts from. Of course, the Canadian was a former member of the London Lightning, too. And he's a guy who's got tons of NBLC experience and has actually performed well, as far as I've seen, whenever he's been here in London. He hasn't played a ton of minutes, but he's a guy that has looked pretty good against this lineup and looked good against Junior Cadogan. So I think that was a kind of a on-purpose matchup that Coach Vassell was going for.
We start every home game standing up. We start off every home game loud. So let's start with that noise right now. Front row.
Of course, we got the clapping here. Fans are not allowed to sit down until there's a basket. We've seen some short waits. We've seen some long waits. Not a full stadium. The lower bowl is the only bowl open, so I probably should have just said the upper bowl's closed. But the lower bowl's got a pretty good crowd. Some of the club seats are filled. And as you can probably hear already, pretty loud in the building right now.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's pretty hyped for the game today. Should be a good one. Good home one, like you were saying, in 3 weeks. Good to get your feedback on home court.
And even if there weren't a ton of people in the building, the people who came are diehards, because if you look at where the season tickets are usually sat, that's the sections that are filled. Everyone who bought a season ticket came for this game. This is one of the ones they want to see. And it should be a good one we've got coming here.
Do you expect any sort of nerves from the Lightning after being away for so long coming home, or do you think the energy from the crowd will help them feel, a little more in place?
I think it's a little different when you go on that long road trip that they had. You had to go out east. You had to go to Windsor, and Windsor's a really brutal team to have to play at the end of a road trip. That's a team that'll beat you up. And I think for the Lightning, you get to come home, you get to get your own ice pack out of the fridge, you get to lay in your own bed, you get to really relax and get comfortable, get back into a familiar setting. And I think that comfort level is going to show. I feel like they're going to have a strong start here.
All right. Tip. Won by the Lightning. Anderson with the ball, inside to White. Playing physical there. Oh.
Great help defense there from Kirk Williams Jr. coming in and really made that difficult on Royce White. And I think if you see Royce White one-on-one in the paint, that double team's going to come quick.
Inbound from Cadogan here. Out to Marvin Phillips. Cadogan feeds inside. Not enough.
And that's a good start for Niagara when you force that 24-second violation. You really give them a little bit of a boost. You give yourself that boost of just being, knowing that you kind of have their number right off the bat. It's going to be up to London to come out on their second possession and give Niagara something to think about.
Out of bounds there on the Lightning. Inbound here from Tyler Murray. And that's a three ball.
Well, Kirk Williams Jr., guy who knows what he's doing. He's, of course, a former sixth man of the year in NBLC, and he's got a championship from his time with the
tough to
Windsor
the rim, and he
Express.
lays it in. Fans can have a seat now. Tough in there on the basket, gets his own rebound. Carl Hall.
Gonna see a blocking foul there on Junior Cadogan. Trying to draw the charge.
Now, what do you think initially on Niagara's coming out in this game? It looks like they might be getting some space out there on offense.
Well, I like their movement right now. You don't really see anyone standing still on the floor. Ball's flowing through the offense very well. Everyone's kind of moving around. Everyone's getting a touch on offense. And it's just been a really good start for them.
Kirk Williams with the 3 ball again. A little too much. Anderson up the court. Marvin Phillips with a 3. Oh. Now, do you find that Marvin Phillips will take many of those shots, or is he more of an interior player?
Well, he's a guy who can kind of do both. He's every so often you'll see him drift out to the three-point line a little more than you'd like, but for the most part, he does a good job of picking his spots for when to take that long-range shot. And I find that this year, his 4th year with the Lightning, has really been a more refined. He's been a more refined player in terms of how he chooses when to shoot. You don't really see him waiting outside the three-point line. He usually pops up, gets it, then takes the shot, as opposed to kind of waiting for the ball to come to him.
Cadogan from 3. Count it.
And that's the thing with Junior Cadogan, is he doesn't take a lot of shots. He doesn't really force the offense for himself, but if you leave him open, he can make it count.
Cadogan goes inside himself. And we'll get a foul here.
Well, this is one of the things London wants to do, is feed it inside. And Royce White, even when he's just trying to draw the fouls, even if he doesn't necessarily get the basket, if you can get those bigs on the Niagara River Lions in some foul trouble, get them to have to sit some time on the bench, that gives London a big advantage, because we've talked about front court being important for both these teams, and that depth really is going to come into play if London can get some of these guys in foul trouble. Gotta make your free throws, kids.
Yeah.
Gotta make your free throws. Now, I've often had this theory about why we see some lower free throw percentages in NBLC compared to the NBA. And a lot of these guys, they play on one-year contracts, so you're working on the skills that get you in your next contract, right? You're not necessarily working on the day-to-day things, and I think free throws are one of those skills sometimes some guys see it suffer.
Tyler Murray from 3. It's good.
And again, Tyler Murray just seems to have that extra gear here in London.
Kirk Williams picking up the foul there. Now 2 fouls early into the game for Kirk Williams Jr. What does that do to Niagara?
Well, we mentioned the front court battle. That's a guy who's a really big part of that front court. He's their leading scorer and rebounder this season, and now he's got to go sit on the bench for a bit. And that immediately hurts the Niagara River Lions. He's also a great defender, too, so you lose that aspect.
Anderson. Quick 3 ball here. And Scoop Jardine finds basket.
You know, that's one of those shots where the coach is pulling his hair out until he sees it actually get made.
Open 3 ball for Phillips. Oh, he'll dribble in. Nice
Ooh.
lay-in.
And that's the thing with Phillips, is he has that bulldog game, but he's also got a nice touch around the rim. And that time we just saw the little finger roll there. Beautiful play.
Oh, Carl Hall. That's an offensive foul.
Well, I mean, if you wanted video evidence and show someone what the difference between a charge and a block is, there's your video of a charge.
That's a big difference in size, too, there. Cadogan taking the offensive foul from Carl Hall.
And I know they don't keep track of the stat, but I think London has to lead the league in drawing offensive fouls. I mean, Joel Friesen alone probably draws like 3 charges a game. And guys like Anderson and Garrett Williamson also able to draw those charges just at a really high level.
Anderson with a deep 3.
And that's the thing with Anderson, is he's so dangerous beyond the arc. You cannot let him heat up. Niagara needs to get on that quick, because this is a guy who had a 45-point game earlier in the year and can really light it up. Ooh.
Hitting us a 3 ball.
Again, Tyler Murray, just in London, he seems to get it done.
Now, when a guy's that hot early to start the game, what are you going to do to try and slow him down?
Make some threes? Yeah. Joel Friesen with the big one there.
Big 3.
Oh, this almost turned into a Chuck Fest there.
Oh, pass just over the head. It gathered in there by Friesen. Ball out of bounds there. Lightning inbound. And we'll get some substitutions.
Gonna have Tyshawn Patterson come in. Scoop Jardine's gonna sit out. And it's gonna be Williamson and Doug Herring Jr. into the game. Cadogan, Anderson gonna go to the bench. You know, Doug Herring's one of these guys. We talk about a lot of players on the London Lightning. And one of the ones who doesn't maybe get as much buzz.
Oh, quick inbound pass. Oh, basket just won't fall there.
Well, that pass there, Doug Herring Jr., he's one of those guys, he doesn't get the same amount of buzz. But this is a guy who in only 11 games has twice set the franchise record for assists in a game. And he's really been a key piece to this London Lightning attack.
Tough basket in there for Doug Herring. Just a little over. Oh. River Lions gathering their own rebound.
Hey, sometimes it's not pretty, but it works.
White looking to get in on the basket. Blocked there. Back up. And we'll send him to the line.
And again, we see the help defense come as soon as they recognize the fact that White has that mismatch against almost anyone on the court for Niagara right now. And for White, again, he's able to draw the foul. But he's not the greatest free throw shooter, and you almost wonder if a hack-a-shack strategy might actually work against Royce White. So Royce White, it's important for him to make sure that for White he makes those free throws, because you got to make them pay if they're going to just foul you.
And there we go. Misses the first one again.
I should say Doug Herring played 10 games with them, not 11. Thank you, Nathaniel.
And misses both. 1 for 4 to start the game from the line.
Again, you really need to make them think about sending you to the line, and 1 for 4 doesn't make them think.
Oh. And we'll get a foul here on the Lightning. I believe that's going on Julian Boyd.
Kyle Johnson's going to come on for Joel Friesen there. You know, 2 guys on the floor right now for the Lightning. They were missing Kyle Johnson and Garrett Williamson for very extended stretches. They've been missing Kyle Johnson since early February, and Garrett has been gone since mid-January. So both these guys just trying to get their legs back under them. Garrett actually played 30 minutes in that Windsor game. So Coach Julia's given him plenty of minutes to start.
Kyle Johnson's shot doesn't go. Boyd rebounds. We'll call a foul here. Offensive foul on the Lightning.
You almost think this plays in the River Lions' hands, this sort of slow pace, because London really likes to get out in transition and run. And slowing it down here really plays into the River Lions' favor, because not only do they get London out of rhythm, but they give themselves a lot more time.
Tyler
Oh
Murray,
my goodness.
Another 3-ball from the kid.
He's unconscious right now.
Hands in the face most every time, too. He just doesn't feel like missing.
Well, I mean, that's probably the quickest guy to double digits that we've seen. That's going to give him 9 points with a shot at 10 here at the free throw line. And I mean, I don't get it, but Tyler Murray just has that extra gear here. And he's a guy who's kind of bounced around the NBLC. You've seen him in multiple stops, but I think he's really starting to find a home with Niagara. We'll be right back. We're just going to have a media timeout, and we'll be right back. This is Knoxstrom TV presenting London Lightning versus Niagara River Lions.
right, back to game action here. Tyler Murray is going to take his and one, hope for the 4-point play. And he misses.
But the only thing he's missed
And
tonight.
Free throw's not going down for either team that well tonight. Boyd's going to move it out to Williamson. Finds Kyle Johnson.
Yeah, the ref was going to slow that down. It was Julian Boyd and Sam Muldrow really battling it out in the post there. It's going to be Muldrow picking up the foul.
Herring to inbound here. Finds himself an open Boyd. 3-ball won't fall. Marty down the court. Out to Tyshawn Patterson, sorry. Go baseline. Oh, loses the handle. What a great feed, though. Royce White works the ball at the court.
Jeez, that's a center.
Finds Kyle Johnson, and it falls.
The way Royce White ran the floor there, my goodness. Ooh.
Good block. Great block by Royce White. Great plays at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think Richard Amarty has a right to plead with the ref a bit after that one, though.
Herring Jr. grabs the turnover. Williamson back out to Boyd. Jumper falls.
And now the energy's getting back into this building. This is kind of not what Niagara wanted. I think they were really having things go their way during the leading into the media timeout. I think that media timeout just gave London a nice chance to regroup.
And another turnover for the Lightning. White moves quickly down the floor again. He'll take it himself. Oh.
Gotta get back, though.
An easy basket for Murray. Last guy you want the ball in the hands of right now.
I mean, 11 points in the first quarter for Tyler Murray. Might be his best game in NBLC.
Williamson, take a jumper. Johnson with the big finish off the glass.
And Kyle Johnson's got that little pep in his step. He's been missing time. That game against Windsor was his first one back, and he's really an important part of the bench unit for the London Lightning because him, Anderson, and Williamson all are the wings that they really rely on to both play the defense and the offensive game and make the three-pointers that stretch the floor. Williamson, not so much. But Johnson and Anderson are almost interchangeable in that lineup. And so when Anderson's out, Johnson's role is very important because he becomes the de facto scorer in that lineup.
We've got a Niagara timeout here. You think maybe snatch some momentum away from the Lightning there?
Yeah, I think they realized that London was starting to get into a groove. And it's going to be on the cheerleaders here to keep the fans into it. Sounds like it's working, but I think Niagara really didn't like anything that came out of that media timeout. And that's where you see a guy like Coach Julius, who's really a good game planner. He's really good at drawing up plays and making adjustments on the fly. And he's one of those guys that's really dangerous coming out of a timeout because he usually has the Lightning flying.
Well, the fans are definitely into it right now. Who doesn't love a good free t-shirt?
I just think they're hyped up for Rihanna. Who wouldn't be?
Now, a particularly close game in the first. Just, do you believe this is Niagara coming out playing with some passion here, maybe showing the new coach what they're all about?
Yeah, and if you told me before the game Niagara was going to be 1 point down, I know it's early, but 1 point down for Niagara against one of the fastest starting teams in the NBLC, this has been kind of a dream start, and they just don't want to let it get out of control at all. So even though it's only a 1 point deficit, you can't give London any give. As soon as you feel them getting that momentum, that's when you have to put a stop to it. And this might be the longest timeout I can recall.
And we'll get back on the court here.
We're about to have to play another song soon.
And we'll start with Niagara ball.
Tyshawn Patterson, Scoop Jardine, Sam Muldrow, Josiah Moore, and Richard Amarty in for the River Lions. Williamson, Herring Jr., Criswell, Boyd, and Kyle Johnson in for the Lightning.
Josiah Moore with the ball. Out to Patterson. Muldrow with the shot from beyond the arc.
And that's going to be important because if Muldrow can stretch the floor, you pull guys like Boyd out of the paint. And if you pull guys like Boyd, especially with this lineup where him and Criswell are the two bigs, it leaves Criswell by himself defensively in the paint.
And just trying to create some space on the Lightning there. Get some more open shots. Shot doesn't fall there for the Lightning. Out of bounds on the Lightning as well.
Fans, don't forget to stop by the Bell booth out on the golf course. They have some incredible deals and new emerging technology in the London area. They also have some swag.
Marty will inbound here. Scoop Jardine down the court.
You know, there's not many names in basketball better than Scoop Jardine. Just rolls off the tongue.
Tyshawn Patterson in tight here, double team. Still holding on to it. Oh, and we'll stay River Lions ball.
Yeah, threw it off Boyd there.
Herring Jr. trying to get something from the ref here. Doesn't look like he'll leave with anything.
You know, with Tyshawn Patterson, there's a familiarity that they've done that before when they've played Tyshawn Patterson, where they just double team him and really pressure him with the ball. And that's partly familiarity. As Scoop Jardine with a very optimistic
here
shot.
from Scoop. Right over.
Didn't call bank though, so it doesn't count.
Doug Herring. Kyle Johnson moving in. Out to Boyd. That three is going to fall.
And really the three-point shooting is just going bananas here.
We're getting into a battle beyond the arch here.
Well, we've already had 17 three-pointers, make that 18 three-point attempts.
That's going to be an air ball. Turnover there. Herring Jr. will move back up the court. Criswell's going to attack the basket here. Off the glass and in.
Hey, you know, Criswell's a guy I think you could start for just about any team in NBLC. He's a really important piece for them because he's the closest thing to a true center that the London Lightning have.
That's a wide open three there from Marty.
Again, this is about a dream start for the Niagara River Lions. Their three balls are really going. They're shooting an absolutely nuts 77% from three-point line right now.
Unreal. Williamson will hold the ball. Into Boyd. And he'll fall, he'll lose it. Turnover for the Lightning.
This is really just not a very characteristic look for the London Lightning either. There seems to be almost a disjointedness. I'm pretty sure that's not a word, but I think our listeners get the point. There's kind of a lack of chemistry that really we have never seen from the Lightning this season.
Scoop Jardine. He'll dribble a bit. Bad pass. Doug Herring with the turnover. He'll get it out to Johnson with the finish and one.
And there's Kyle Johnson again providing that spark off the bench. And, you know, with Kyle Johnson and with the depth the London Lightning have, they often have nights where maybe not everyone's going right, but one guy will just really turn it on and kind of pull the team back in by himself. And looks like Kyle Johnson doing a lot of that heavy lifting for the Lightning so far.
Johnson with the and one here. And we've got a made free throw. It's been a couple minutes. Scoop down the floor. Setting out there to Carl Hall.
Hall, of course, from a good basketball school, Wichita State.
And he'll go and one.
Again, Carl Hall, he's got some big game experience from his time at Wichita State. One of the better basketball schools and very trendy bracket-busting pick for March Madness there. You know, Carl Hall, he's not the tallest guy on the court, but he's just determined every time he gets the ball and really just kind of battles his way to the basket.
And it finds its way in after a couple bounces there. Williamson will take it back up the court. Feeds it out there to Boyd. Muscling hard there with Carl Hall. And a big block by Carl Hall.
You know, the Niagara bench, even just from when they were here earlier in the year, you can see the team really supporting each other on the bench and a lot more vocal in that support than we really saw earlier in the year from them.
Criswell with the jumper. Couple rebounds by the Lightning. And Carl Hall with the rebound. Scoop's moving down the floor here. Him and Hall seem to have a good connection right now, really feeding each other.
It's interesting. They're two of the newest players on the team.
Hall goes in himself, and he'll take the foul. He'll show 2.
You know, Scoop Jardine, an interesting guy too, because he was a Moncton Miracle at the start of the year, and ended up getting released. Comes to Niagara. He was traded, I believe, for future considerations, and he's really found himself a spot here.
How do you trade a guy like Scoop?
The name alone, you want to keep
like
him.
Scoop, I should say, yeah.
So Niagara's able to scoop him up.
Hall makes his first free throw. And misses the second one. Niagara with their own rebound, though. Amarty here back out to Scoop. Oh, loses the connection on that one. That'll be a London turnover. And a home run ball down to Williamson. He finds the basket.
Garrett Williamson, really a glue guy on this London Lightning team. He's really a guy who does everything, whether it's scoring, passing. He's one of the better wing defenders in the league. But he's a guy who kind of finds his offense where he needs it. He doesn't necessarily have to force anything.
Looks like Niagara will probably get the last shot here. And we'll call that a quarter. River Lions up by 2 and the home Lightning after 1.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the broadcast, Lightning fans. What are we looking for the Lightning here to maybe take some momentum back or away from Niagara in the second quarter?
Defense. I think both teams are preaching the same thing. I mean, 35-33 is a pretty high-scoring quarter. So for both teams, it's going to be about shutting down. And I think Niagara did a good job. Thanks to some of their sharpshooting from beyond the arc. They shot the ball exceptionally well. 72% beyond the arc right now, and that's opened up so many different things for them. Anytime you can make your threes, you're basically setting your offense perfectly because you have the entire floor to work with when you do that. So for London, they got to get that perimeter defense locked up, and then everything else will come with it.
The River Lions start with the ball here. Carl Hall once again finds himself with it. Scoop Jardine takes the shot, and he'll be just short. Royce White works his way down the floor quick and misses an easy layup and takes a foul.
That was an odd sequence there.
Looks like he caught Amarty up high. Shake it off, though. And we'll get the ball in here to Scoop. Crosses half. Makes way up to Marcus Lewis. Tyshawn Patterson with the save. And Carl Hall goes in himself. Just misses. Rebound Lightning.
You know, I don't think I've seen Carl Hall actually make a single move to get himself to the basket. He just bulldozes his way through.
Yeah, he is a big
Not
boy.
a lot of finesse in that game.
Even from all the way up here, it's easy to tell that he is one of the bigger guys on the court right now. Herring Jr. with the ball down the court. Anderson just short. Royce White with the rebound. And we'll go out of bounds on Carl Hall.
Gonna see Kirk Williams Jr. back in the game. Came off early in the first quarter due to foul trouble. So,
And we'll get another foul here. Tyshawn Patterson. And so we'll try this again. Marvin Phillips here to inbound. He'll find Herring Jr. out there. Being defended by Scoop Jardine. Friesen looked like he was going to shoot, has it poked away. Recovered again by Herring Jr. Friesen with the three, and that'll find purchase.
you know, Friesen took a kick in the back of the head when he went down for that ball, so I think that was a little bit of a swagger shot there.
Scoop Jardine blows by them here, can't make the easy layup.
Looks like he got poked in the eye.
And Royce White will take, and I believe that is Kirk Williams again with another foul.
Right back to the bench.
Shortly after coming in. Taking himself off, Chris.
Yeah.
Don't usually see that a lot.
Well, I think he knows that the substitution was coming. And they really need Kirk Williams Jr. in this game. I mean, they're having a pretty great start to this game, but for Kirk Williams Jr. to go out, that's a guy who we talked about both teams wanting to play defense. Williams is a guy who can bring that.
When you see a guy take himself off the court, like, quick look from Anderson and the bucket falls. Sorry, when you see a guy like take that, throw the towel over the head, what does that do to the rest of the team?
I think the rest of the team's fine. They know Kirk is a vet. He's played in this league a long time. He's played basketball for a long time. They know if anyone's going to beat themselves up over kind of a weak foul like that, it's going to be him. He knows what he did, so you just kind of give him his space, let him relax a bit.
Anderson with a wide open three. He'll come up short. Over the back of the basket. And the River Lions to inbound here. Out to Scoop. Now we've seen Scoop play some pretty big minutes so far. How do you think that'll affect him later in the game? Or is he the type of guy that could probably go 48 if he wanted?
Well, even when he was playing with Moncton, he could handle a lot of minutes. One of the things with Jardine, though, is he's not the greatest defender. So you end up kind of, pick your poison. You get a ton of points off him, but, sometimes you also leave open a ton of points, too. So for Scoop Jardine's done a good job defending tonight, though. And, give him as many minutes as he can. He's been playing well.
Absolutely. Marcus Lewis with the ball here. Trying to set something up here on the court. Hall throws a screen. Marvin Phillips knocks it away. It'll be River Lions ball.
A quiet night for Lewis. Earlier in the season, he was the leading scorer for the Niagara River Lions. Has a couple of high 20-point games.
Will find himself with the ball again. Makes the pass out there. And turnover there. Royce again finds himself alone down the court, and he'll finish that basket. That one's not getting by him.
I think he got a little frustrated by missing those layups, so he wanted to make 100% sure with that one.
Scoop again finds himself with the ball. Out to Tyshawn Patterson. He'll feed off to Carl Hall.
Tough mismatch.
Back to Patterson again. Little jumper. Won't fall. Cadogan with the rebound. Out to Royce White. Little behind the back there. Anderson with the bank in three.
Hey, it's not about how it goes in as long as it just goes in.
Lightning have opened up a 6-point lead here. Scoop down the court. Guarded by Cadogan. Out to Carl Hall. Find Marcus Lewis. Out to Muldrow. Scoop from the free throw line. And he'll put 2 in.
He's got such a high arc on his shot, you almost have no idea whether it's going to go in.
Cadogan weaving his way through. Out to Friesen. And we'll get a foul here on Marcus Lewis.
Again, Joel Friesen just kind of pesky. He really does draw those calls all over the floor. And he's one of those guys who doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, but he really does make his impact felt when he's in the game.
And Tyler Murray finds himself back on the court. Lions looking for some offense. Anderson will find a ball into Friesen. He'll get the ball back. Junior Cadogan. Just a little too much on that shot. Scoop with a quick 3. Oh, not a pretty shot there from Scoop. Just maybe trying to make too much happen too quick there. Maybe, slow the game down, set things up. You're only down 4.
Yeah, there was no need to kind of try to create really a spark shot. It was kind of an unnecessary one, and if they were down more, maybe it sparked something, but didn't really need it now.
Marvin Phillips there off the glass, can't find the basket. Tyler Murray finds himself with the ball, makes the pass out there. Out to Muldrow, being guarded by Royce White. Nice turnover there, Marvin Phillips. Great read on the ball.
Mm-hmm. He really jumped that like a cornerback almost. Read the QB's eyes.
Now, why is Cadogan passing a ball in that? I feel like he's got a good shot at the rim there. I understand you maybe want to put the ball in your best player's hand, but I feel like that might have been an easy 2 for Cadogan.
Well, sometimes you get that mentality as that pass-first guy that Cadogan is. And, not every time you need to pass, but when your first instinct is to, it happens once in a while. Cadogan knows, and I think that's exactly what Coach Julius is telling him right now.
And we'll get the inbound here. Murray to make his way down the court. Being guarded close there by Anderson. Obviously, they don't want to give him much more. Marvin Phillips again reading the ball. Carl Hall stays on it, though. Scoop goes inside, and he'll get 2 on Royce White. Back out to Anderson. Ball tipped there by Tyler Murray.
Mismatch.
Royce White will take it there all day. And he can't find the basket. A little bit of an up and down game so far for Royce White.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to finish his shots the way we're used to seeing from him, but he's really starting to find his groove now.
And another read by Phillips. He is just on fire defensively right now. And Cadogan will take a hard 2, and no foul call there.
It was actually good defense by Muldrow. He went straight up and down, but Cadogan did a really good job of adjusting to the contact as well.
Muldrow with the ball into Carl Hall, seeing if he can muscle in on big pass out there to Tyler Murray. And we'll get a foul call here.
And again, I would just keep Tyler Murray in as many minutes as he can take. He's been playing phenomenal. We're going to have a media timeout. It's 47-41 for the London Lightning with 5 minutes 53 left in the second quarter.
Game here after a quick time. Back into the game here after a quick timeout. I believe we'll have an inbound ball from the River Lions here.
I believe it's Tyler Murray's foul shots, isn't it?
Right, correct. 3 from Tyler Murray.
You know, Tyler Murray's really had a heck of a game, and I think I've said it like 14 times, but I'm going to say it one more time. Something about playing in London, he always really has, not even when he's not scoring a ton, he just looks impressive when he's here in London, and there's almost a comfort level he has with this court.
And Murray here with 1 of 3. Well, Tyler's getting some chance from the crowd there, maybe throwing him off a little on the shot.
I still can't believe the free throw shooting in this game. You've got 50% from Niagara and 40% from the Lightning.
And what's our 3-point percentage there?
61 for Niagara and 50. You can't make the free ones, but you can make the bank shots from the corner. Okay.
Sometimes they just want to fall from wherever.
Well, it's like, is it worth scoring if you're not scoring pretty sometimes?
And so Murray will go 2 for 3. 4-point lead for the Lightning here. Cadogan with the ball.
You know, it almost makes me think of NBA Street, where they've got the style points on it.
Cadogan looking inside for the pass. He'll move outside to Anderson. Cadogan going inside. Oh, just will not fall.
You know, one of the underappreciated skills by Cadogan, he adjusts to contact.
And a gimme there from Marvin Phillips. Nice feed from Royce White.
That's a center who just made that kind of a pass with that kind of vision. Royce White, just a real special talent.
Scoop Jardine moving the ball down the court here. Again finding Carl Hall. Marvin Phillips playing real tough on him. And again, Marvin Phillips just having one heck of a defensive game. Ryan Anderson out to Phillips, and he'll find 2 again.
This is really a good game here for Marvin Phillips. I love what he did defensively. We talked about Carl Hall just kind of bulldozing his way to the basket. That time, Phillips just stood his ground, gave him nothing, and I think London's found that matchup that they want against Carl Hall by having Marvin Phillips in the game.
Hall lays a big screen on Cadogan there, knocks him to the floor. The Lightning will also end up taking a foul on the other end of that play. Tyler Murray directing some traffic there. He'll inbound there to Scoop.
Really hasn't been a lot of variation in these Niagara lineups.
Well, like we said at the top of the broadcast, very short bench today, only 9 players, obviously dealing with a lot of injuries.
Well, no Stutz, that's been for a while, no Commons. You know, you're missing Commons and Stutz are 2 of the better front court players in the entire league, so Niagara's done a really good job of adjusting for the injuries, but sometimes they just hurt you.
Anderson with the ball there, out to Cadogan. Royce White matching up against Muldrow here. He'll take it himself for 2.
And off the top of the broadcast, we talked about, you know, length versus bulk, and that time bulk won out. Royce White just bullied Muldrow.
Oh, we'll find a wide open Lewis, and that 3 ball goes right down.
The ball movement from Niagara is just the best I've seen from them this year, and I mean, we've seen a lot of Niagara. This is their 8th game against each other, and Niagara's really moving the ball well. I think the new coach kind of gave them the kick in the pants that they needed to kind of get ready.
You know,
get pumped.
It seemed like the Lightning might have grabbed some momentum, but the River Lions are just hanging around. 4-point game still.
And I think the problem if you're the London Lightning is you got to pull away at some point. Because we mentioned at the top, London's one of those teams that starts fast, and they don't really fade. But if Niagara survives that fast start, which they have, it really does give them a chance to just keep pace the rest of the way.
So we like what the Lightning are doing on offense. We just need a little tightening up on defense.
I think both teams would tell you the same thing. The defense just needs to lock up a bit. I mean, the 3-point shooting, 66% behind the line, so maybe some perimeter defense would be a nice one. That's 66% for Niagara behind the 3-point line. So I think London would like a little semblance of perimeter defense, and it's been better in this quarter. We haven't seen as many open looks, and we haven't seen as many go in. They've improved that, but vice versa, Niagara's also improved their perimeter defense. London's gone back to what they started the game with by going down low.
Now, when you try and improve the perimeter defense, obviously you're going to leave some things open inside. Would you take the Lightning players over the Niagara players on some inside offense versus their defense, or?
Well, again, it's the bulk versus length. I think London's got the guys who, if they go inside, you can really back them down. Maybe not Carl Hall, but a lot of the guys on Niagara, they're a longer type of big. They aren't necessarily the strong base kind of a big. And I think you really can take it to them in that regard.
All right, let's inbound, get back in action. Freezing back to Herring Jr. Herring Jr. trying to find some space. Marvin Phillips wide open. He'll go inside with a feed to White. Just some great vision shown here so far by the Lightning inside.
Yeah, and we're starting to see some of the chemistry that led to that 14-game win streak. That was really their calling card during that streak.
Scoop will find his way to the basket, can't make it fall.
You know, if he controlled himself a little bit more, he had plenty of space. I think he kind of rushed the shot once he saw an opening.
Herring Jr. dribbling around. Anderson behind the back feed to Friesen, and that's a three ball that'll fall.
Well,
Nifty little play there.
There's a play of the week right there.
And big step up three from Amarty, sorry.
I don't think I've seen Niagara answer like this in quite a bit. Every shot that London's made, Niagara's had some sort of response.
Marvin Phillips, wide open three ball, and that's going to go in. Just three ball after three ball tonight. Expected?
Well, both teams are known for the way they shoot the three ball. I think what's unexpected is how successful it's been. You almost knew coming into this game that's how they were going to try to get their
shock
points.
fake and a big dunk. Woo! Royce White out to Herring Jr. Felt that one up here.
Yeah. And did you see how much space there was for Amarty when he made that cut? That's because they're making those three-point shots. So Amarty had almost a clear path, and the defender who had to come late ends up being put on a poster a bit there.
Herring Jr. trying to find his way in. Marvin Phillips, he'll get to, and he'll take one more.
That's a silly foul.
Scoop arguing he doesn't like it. With his own teammate.
Yeah, he's talking to Marcus Lewis there. Yeah, we saw that when Scoop was here with Moncton. He's very vocal with his teammates.
And now, does that rub some people the wrong way, or do you think it's good to have somebody like that on the court?
I'm not in the locker room. I'm not on the court. I can't verify. Because, you know, sometimes when someone's telling you stuff, you kind of go, yeah, I get it. But other times, you know, these guys are vets. They're veteran players on these teams. It's kind of worth listening to them.
Scoop with the ball. Being defended there. Out to Muldrow. Find Marcus Lewis. He'll take the ball in for two.
Beautiful play there. He really shook Ryan Anderson with the crossover.
Herring Jr. in there guarded by Scoop Jardine. He'll find Friesen. Out to Phillips with a contested three, and that won't go. Marty, quick down the court. He'll go out to Muldrow. Back out to Amarty. And he'll take a contested three. Oh, not a very pretty shot there. Somebody in the face. Is that a recommended shot, or would you look for, you know, maybe a bit more passing?
Personally, I'd be going for something a little different than that. Not the best shot.
And Herring Jr., he'll take the foul from Amarty. So Herring to shoot two here. Quick substitution. Marvin Phillips goes off for Royce White. Julian Boyd also back in the game. First one won't fall for Herring Jr. Continued troubles at the free throw line here for the Lightning. Second one falls. 65-56 Lightning. Minute 20 left. Scoop Jardine down the court here. Being defended very closely by Herring Jr. Whole side of the court to himself, takes him tough to the rim. Turnover there by the River Lions. Herring Jr. Oh, with a huge feed to Boyd. Can't sink it, gets the rebound and puts it in himself. Doug Herring Jr. with a big basket. And Sam Muldrow out to Amarty. Tyler Murray with the ball. Maybe to look to make some magic happen for the end of the half here. He'll feed out to Marcus Lewis. Back to Amarty. Closely there by, and we'll get the offensive foul on Amarty. He doesn't believe it, folks. Friesen with a great take there. The Lightning with a chance to steal the possession just before the end of the half. All right, Doug Herring Jr. down the court here. He'll scoop out to Anderson. Friesen with another three ball. Just raining here inside. Scoop Jardine crosses half. Being defended very closely there by Herring Jr. They're looking to get a shot off with not much time left for the Lightning to make one themselves. Out to Muldrow, Tyler Murray. He's going to feed it out to Marcus Lewis with a deep three, and that one's going to fall. And we'll get one last shot here from the Lightning. Oh, stolen there by Scoop. Not in time. All right, folks. That's our half here in the game. Score is Lightning 70, visiting River Lions 59. Now off to halftime with Chris and Aaron.
70-59 is the score. London Lightning getting their edge back, as most people know and love. And we're courtside of the Notcham halftime. I'm joined by Chris Croucher, and there's a lot of things we got to discuss. First off, Niagara's hot start to begin the game, really throwing off the London defense for sure.
Well, I was talking to Coach Julius before the game. One of the things we mentioned is that the fact that you don't really have any sort of film on this team because it's a new coach, new plays, everything's going to be new with this team. And I think that's what kind of caught London off guard and gave Niagara that start. Is there not a lack of preparedness, just that you can't really be prepared for it because you don't really know what you should be expecting. So I think Niagara was able to take advantage of that. They ran some really smart plays and tons of ball movement. The ball movement was incredible from Niagara. And I think that really led into what was a very strong start against London, who, in their own defense, is one of the fastest starting teams in the league.
How about the Niagara River Lions getting off the board and a really tough defensive assignment for Royce White? They're shutting him down and really going after the glass.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job of almost a hack-a-shack against Royce White in the early going. That really threw off his rhythm, and now that he's later into the game, he wasn't necessarily making his free throws, so that he didn't really punish them when they did send him to the line. And now he's starting to get it going here in the second quarter, but for the most part, White's been kind of left ineffective. I also think the length of those defenders, we've seen a lot of his layup attempts get blocked or deflected or tipped. And we mentioned the length versus both sort of battle at the top of the broadcast. And I think that's kind of played in Niagara's favor defensively because they've had that length that when Royce White goes up, he doesn't necessarily jump the highest. So when he goes up with that layup, there's a really long arm of either Sam Muldrow or someone there to deflect and just really annoy the shooter.
And Niagara, you said at the beginning, stretching out on those threes. And it goes to show how effective this team is, even though with the new coach. So they're really picking their spots and making good shot choices.
Well, I thought the best example of how that three-point shooting really helped this team was a dunk. When Richard Amarty went for that dunk on Joel Friesen there, it was a real highlight play. And I think one of the things that stood out was how easily he was able to get to the basket, because everyone on the London Lightning had to spread out. They were all over the floor. They had everyone behind the arc. And so when Amarty got there, the only defender was Joel Friesen, who was late because he had to come all the way from the three-point line. And that kind of spacing has been key for Niagara in this game. Because they've got guys like Muldrow, they've been able to have those big guys pull the London defenders out of the paint and force them to really come late and have to run to try and make a defensive play.
There you have it, folks. Quick game break. Before we go to the Orangeville and Kitchener-Waterloo game, I think we have to bring this up, how important the second, third, and fourth seed for the Central Division is, because most people don't realize it's pretty tight, and by the end of the week, people could jump from fifth place to second place. Windsor Express did that, for example. Explain how tight it is when it comes to the rest of the four clubs in the division.
Well, I think we can safely say London's at the top, but those other four teams, it's realistic that the team that's in second place right now could miss the playoffs. It's that close between those teams. And there hasn't really been a team that's clearly put themselves above the others. They've all really traded wins and losses. I do have to say, I think Windsor made some key pickups that really pumps them up, and I think they've done a good job adding to their roster. But I mean, Niagara's looked very impressive under a new coach, and KW is a team that beat London.
Right.
So every team kind of has something. Orangeville beat London too. Every team has something that they can at least point to make them a contender, and no one's really set themselves apart.
And all that confidence goes to show how big the playoffs is this year. Of course, one team will miss it from each division, so that's how important this is. So we'll go over to the Orangeville Titans game. It's halftime. Titans lead by 4, 41-37. And once again, Orangeville has impressed me too, because considering they've gone through a couple of tough games. They won against Niagara, and then not so long ago they beat the Windsor Express in overtime. So how important is it for Orangeville to come up and pick up a few wins so they could maintain that second seed if they want to?
Well, I think for Orangeville, they've been one of the more consistent teams, and I think keeping that consistency is going to be very important to them. I don't know what it is, but they can't seem to really get those road wins. I think that's what's hurt their record the most. But, I mean, they've got Justin Moss, they've got Relier Jefferson, and those are two of the best players in the league, period. So I think if you can get those guys and keep them going, develop that consistency. I also think Justin Moss is the one guy who can really battle Royce White in the paint. So looking at those two in a future matchup, that's going to be exciting. And really just focusing on the star players is Orangeville's key to success.
And Stefan Nastic leads the game with 14 points. No question about it. The Orangeville A's has one of the toughest front courts in there, and they could intimidate pretty much anybody that comes into their building. For example, you said Royce White, and that is a tough defensive task. We go back to Budweiser Gardens. If you're Keith Vassell, what do you have to do to overcome this deficit right now and try to pull off an upset, which they have done before at opening night?
I think if I'm Vassell, I'm telling these guys, keep doing what you're doing on offense. They've done a great job moving the ball around and giving London's defense fits. However, they haven't been able to play much defense of their own. And I think that's part of the fact that Vassell's learning his lineups right now. I think when he gets into the second half, he's going to be more comfortable with a lot of his guys and what they can provide to his team. And I think once he gets that comfort level with his lineups, he'll be able to put out some better defensive lineups, and that'll help them in the second half.
Kyle Julius, London Lightning, overcame a deficit early on through the first half, and now they're taking over. What do they have to do to maintain that lead and make sure they get out of the building and not lose 2 in a row?
Well, I found in the back half of the second quarter there, they did a much better job defending on the perimeter. We didn't see as many open looks by Niagara. They certainly shot the ball well still, but a lot of them had hands in the face and they were more challenged looks. I think you got to maintain that toughness on the perimeter. Going forward, though, on offense, keep feeding it to Royce White, because you got Kirk Williams Jr. in foul trouble very early. If you keep giving it to him, he's going to draw those fouls, whether he scores or not, and whether he makes the free throws or not. You can still affect the front court depth of the Niagara Riverlines just by feeding the big man.
And they got both of those clubs. After this game, they have some tough tasks. Tomorrow, Niagara, they're back on the road, and the London Lightning, they'll play Orangeville in the Institute next. So for both of these clubs to get a win is very vitally important. So for both of these clubs, it's back to the drawing board, but the London Lightning are making best ends of it, 70-59 at the half. We'll return for the second half. Critch and Brendan will be on the call, and I'll see you folks at the Knockstrom post game. But now we step aside for these messages of special interest.
Delta is the official home of the London Lightning. Delta is conveniently located in the heart of London's downtown, minutes from all our business and leisure needs. Delta ensures an enjoyable experience each time you stay with us. Back in Motion is proud to be the official trainer and rehab facility for the London Lightning professional basketball team. Whether you're suffering from a workplace, automobile, or sports injury, our team of registered professionals can get you back in action. Call us today at 519-668-8855 and get back in motion. Canadian Linen and Uniform Service.
All right, Lightning fans, welcome back to the game. Once again, Lightning leads 70-59 over the visiting River Lions. And I think we're just going to look for another hot half from the Lightning. You know, keep the recipe that's got them an 11-point lead going into the half.
Well, halftime could be the great equalizer, and I think for the River Lions, you got to hope that they went into the locker room at halftime and really figured some stuff out defensively. I mean, 59 points in a half is pretty dang good, but it doesn't really mean much when you allow 70, so...
Yeah, the Lightning tightened up a lot defensively there in that second quarter. Still allowing 24 points.
I wouldn't say they tightened it too much, but it was enough that they were able to get themselves a bit of a gap. And, you know, you really learn about a coach based on how they come out of timeouts and how they come out of halftime. And we're going to learn some things about Keith Vassell here because he's got a tough go right now, down 11, against the best team in the league.
And I'm assuming we'll just look for some improved defense on three-point shooting for both sides. Really hot for both teams. But like we said, setting up that perimeter defense is going to leave your inside real vulnerable.
Yeah, and that's the problem is both teams have been able to strike whenever that happens.
All right, so we've inbounded the ball. Third quarter underway. Anderson moving inside to Royce White. Looking to hold on to it against Amarty. And a big block by Muldrow. Niagara grabs that. Tyler Murray. Off his own foot, loses control. Royce White's going to get in there. And they're going to give it to the Lightning.
Yeah, there was a lot of different people touching the ball there. Kind of hard one to track.
Do you like to see aggressive defense like that coming out in the half?
Oh, yeah.
Still playing tight.
You just went into the locker room, you relax, you chill out a bit, and the team gets in your face. It kind of causes mistakes, so I like that choice by Coach Julius there.
Royce White, little bounce around there, and he lets that one find the hoop. Not going to get too many blocks on him. Big steal by Friesen. He'll find Anderson, and he'll take an easy dunk for 2 more. 4 quick points for the Lightning here. Not what the River Lions were looking for coming out of the break. Marcus Lewis with the 3 ball, and he'll take some back. 12-point lead for the Lightning here. Marvin Phillips inbound to Junior Cadogan.
Yeah, I don't think Niagara can continue to make this a shootout. London's got too much of a lead for that right now. They need to lock it down just a touch defensively. Now, I know we've said that about a million times, but really there's nothing not to like on offense. It's just about the defensive game for them.
Kick ball there by Marcus Lewis. Lightning to throw this one in. Marvin Lewis sends Friesen back there. Oh, instead we'll go with Ryan Anderson. Out to Friesen. He'll take the quick 3, and he'll find the quick 3.
He's having a good night beyond the arc. He's taken 5 shots in the game, all 5 beyond the arc, and he's drained all 5.
Leading scorer for the Lightning right now.
15 points. I like when they make the math easy for me. I'm not so good at math, so whenever they help, it's great.
Again, aggressive defense. Scoop Jardine's going to come up with the ball, though. Amarty goes in for 2.
You know, Marty's had a really nice game.
And a
Can't
steal
turn
by
that
Marcus
over.
Lewis. And he'll take a quick 3, which misses.
I don't know why, when you get that steal, you get a fresh shot clock. I don't know why you need to go up with it that quick.
Friesen again, why not? And he'll miss his first shot of the night. And Marvin Phillips, foul on Tyler Murray.
Yeah, just kind of rolled over him. You know, sometimes you're the tank, sometimes you're the Dixie Cup. That was a pretty pretty big guy coming at Tyler Murray there.
All right, Tyler Murray will take this one down the court for the River Lions. Being closely guarded there by Ryan Anderson. Amarty with the deep 3 ball. He'll take that all day. Junior Cadogan across the half line. Scoop Jardine around the screen of Royce White there. Anderson takes it inside, and he'll lose the handle. River Lions ball.
They're doing a really good job of swarming whenever a London Lightning player makes a cut. And we talked about the perimeter defense being the issue, but I think their interior defense has been pretty spot on
Ton
for
of
the River
blue
Lions.
every time the Lightning move inside,
I mean,
especially on Royce White.
We've seen White, whenever he gets the ball, we've seen 3 bodies come over. So, I mean, they know exactly how to stop the interior stuff. They just got to stop the 3 points.
Muldrow, he's just going to get a wide open 3 there. Little defensive lap by the Lightning. We're down in the single digits again. Dugan trying to set something up.
Yeah, Tyler Murray actually blew up that play there. That was a nice job.
Royce White deciding, looks like he might keep this one himself. Shoots it out.
It's going to be a foul on Marty there.
Looking shocked.
Marty's still talking to the ref.
Royce
Might
White.
want to watch himself.
Royce White, the kind of physical player that can make you do something like that.
Pardon me, it was Scoop Jardine who got the foul, not a Marty.
He's going off anyways. He's still talking. Anderson out to White. Anderson with the ball again.
Great
He's gonna
defense.
Nice ball movement here by the Lightning, though. Royce White, 3-point won't go.
Great defense. Each guy kept switching defensively. It was perfect.
And there is 2 guys under the basket there with 2 Lightning guys standing right in front of them. Little bit of a defensive lap and 5-point game.
Just like that, they start to erase that lead.
Riverline's making a really good go of it, despite a poor first minute there.
I think Coach Julius just wants that timeout because he doesn't want to give anything up right now. 5 points is kind of scary considering the lead you had. And I mean, they've kind of just gotten in on will. Or at will, pardon me. I love the defense from the River Lions right now. Guys are talking, guys are making switches, and really there's been no opportunity for the Lightning to make anything happen on offense. I mean, we saw this last play here before the timeout, how each defender, the Lightning were able to move the ball around the perimeter, and there was always a River Lions guy there who was immediately reading the play correctly and getting to his man to make sure it wasn't an open shot, and you end up having to force a really forced three-pointer from White, who's not really a three-point shooter. So that was an excellent display defensively, both on the perimeter and inside from the River Lions.
Nothing coming easy for the Lightning here. A few minutes into the second half. Do you look to them to maybe drop some more plays, get themselves a bit more open?
I don't know if you can draw up too many plays there, though. For example, you had what you wanted if you're the London Lightning. You had the ball on the perimeter, and there was always going to be a guy open because someone had to come and make that and get over for each single time. Just the River Lions did a good job of reading that and hopping into it before anyone got left behind. So for London, that was actually a good sequence, just better defense.
All right, so we'll come back from the timeout here. We'll get a Lightning inbound. And Friesen will move the ball into Cadogan here. Royce White helps set up the screen. Anderson with the quick 3. Doesn't go. Scoop Jardine. Oh, quick steal by Marvin Phillips. Great hands. Once again. Friesen will go in. Drop a little floater. Won't fall. Marvin Phillips.
Again, the length of the Niagara defenders.
Oh, and a
caused
great
problem.
steal by Anderson. Let's take your time here. Set up a shot. I think it works.
Just a little bit of good defensive ball from both sides there. And Ryan Anderson, we haven't seen him make as many threes as we're used to seeing. That time he gave him a chance to get a little bit of heat going with that shot by setting it up.
That's Scoop Jardine being guarded closely once again by Ryan Anderson. And he'll take a 3-ball terribly short. I think Anderson helped change the direction of that shot a little bit.
I don't think there's a coach who ever wants to see that shot.
Scoop will come out of the game for Tyshawn Patterson. Royce White in here to Cadogan.
Yeah, we talked about great names like Scoop Jardine. Junior Cadogan's up there. That's a pretty great one.
Friesen into White. White with a nice pass out there to Marvin Phillips with a little floater.
I'd be giving Marvin Phillips all the minutes I can. He's been great in this game, both defensively and offensively. He's been very active on the boards, too.
Kirk Williams Jr. back in the game. See if he gets himself involved and maybe not in foul trouble. Cadogan with the rebound. Scooting down the court. And that one won't fall, but he'll go shoot too. Slow to get up, but he looks good.
I like the energy there from Cadogan. He's a guy who kind of recognizes when his team needs a spark. and just kind of turns into an Energizer Bunny sometimes by doing so.
Real good end-to-end there.
Oh, yeah. And he's a guy who's able to do that, but he doesn't necessarily always do that. He really picks his moments well.
And we'll get Garrett Williamson in here. Ryan Anderson steps off. And Julian Boyd as well. And Kyle Johnson. Dugan for a second. And no, but Boyd with the rebound. Oh, well seen pass, well defended by the River Lions. Tyler Murray's going to scoop down the court. And we'll get a Lightning ball, a turnover. Now, we saw Tyler Murray with that hot first quarter. What have the Lightning done differently against him so far? Just contested shots?
Well, I actually just don't think Niagara's been going to him as much. And I mean, yeah, he had a hot start, but he's not exactly the number one scorer in the league or anything. You don't necessarily want him to be the number one option.
Herring Jr. will put it off the glass. That'll bounce out. Marcus Lewis moving the ball down. Tyler Murray out to Tyshawn Patterson. 3 balls good.
Patterson's a guy you don't want to let get hot. I call him a bit of a microwave because he heats up quick. And he's not a guy you want to get that momentum for because he can really burn you.
Herring Jr. trying to get himself a foul call there from Kirk Williams. Clearly Lightning going to work on him. Go to Julian Boyd. Kyle Johnson. Easy 3. Tyler Murray moving down the court here. Kyle Johnson's going to pick him up. He's going to move out to Muldrow. Thought about the 3. He'll take it himself, though. Too strong. But he'll grab his rebound. And there is Kirk Williams Jr. Gets a bucket and the harm.
That's going to be on Julian Boyd there. Ball movement that time. I really like what Niagara's doing. I know they're down by 9, but I really do like a lot of the changes that we're seeing from Niagara in this game compared to when they've been in London in the past. And just some really good ball movement and really hustling on defense. They're really moving around out there. And this is kind of the spark you get from a new coach. You know, you've got some guys who maybe weren't always, thrilled. And they get a new opportunity with a new coach, and they're really just trying to make good on it.
Kirk Williams gets the and 1. And we'll go to Herring Jr. here. Herring Jr. out to Williamson. Williamson swings it over to Johnson. He'll try and find some space. Williamson in there to Herring Jr. And he'll take a foul.
Patterson and Herring Jr.
We are getting a little scrappy out there on the floor. Maybe the River Lions trying to inject some energy in there, maybe getting in the Lightning's head, hoping they make some mistakes.
I think that was just stupid. Herring Jr., he was kind of standing over, antagonizing just a tiny bit, but, come on. You can't bite like that. Patterson, goes for the shove, then Boyd goes for the shove right back.
Really not the kind of thing you want to see this game turn into.
Yeah, I think NBLC's had their fill of fighting.
All right, so we'll try and figure some things out here. I believe we're going to get a Lightning inbound. And we'll get Herring Jr.
It's going to be an unsporting foul, matching 1 to Patterson, 1 to Boyd.
And we're good to go. Let's get back at it.
Eventually. There we go.
Just a quick boxing break and back to basketball. Herring into Royce White, and he gets his own miss.
He's really not making it easy on himself in this game.
Just seemed to rise above the River Lions defense there. Muldrow with a quick pass into Kirk Williams. He seems to be playing with a bit more fire now.
Well, Muldrow and Williams Jr., both veteran players. Muldrow, of course, a River Lion last year.
And we'll get an offensive foul here on Julian Boyd.
Patterson and Herring Jr. are still bumping into each other and yapping a bit. Refs are going to have to keep an eye on that situation. You know, why can't we just be friends, you know?
Williams. Muldrow back to Williams. He's going to take
Nice.
this one himself and scoop it out. Oh, not a clean handle of the pass there. Patterson finds the floor. And we'll get an inbounds from the River Lions.
Boyd's going to come out here. Marvin Phillips back in.
The crowd, giving Boyd the applause on the way off. Josiah Moore loses the handle.
Marvin Phillips again. Great stealing.
Just having a monster game defensively. And pretty good offensively as well.
He hasn't played a ton of minutes either, but he's really made good on the minutes he has had.
He's getting in there physically with Kirk Williams Jr. right now. I don't think he's going to let him get inside easy anymore.
Well, Phillips and Williams Jr. are both
Yeah,
veteran
turnover there by
NBLC
the
players.
Lions.
They've both played together, like against each other in the NBL quite a bit.
And that's going to be foul number 4 for Kirk Williams Jr.
Yeah, I don't know if he even needs to take that foul. That's not a great one.
Seemed a little unnecessary. On Herring Jr., though, maybe a slight little bit of revenge.
No, I don't think it was anything revenge-wise. I think it was he didn't like the way the River Lions were coming back defensively, so he just took the foul. But, you know, Kirk Williams can't be the guy taking that foul based on his current foul situation.
And we'll get Herring Jr. off, and we'll bring Junior Cadogan in.
I believe I just heard there's going to be a technical foul on Cadogan.
On Cadogan?
Yeah.
Just came on the
Murray
court.
made the shot there.
Interesting.
Can't swear it was on Cadogan. I didn't hear the name there. I didn't see anything. But
Possibly on Herring Jr., that's why Cadogan's on the court now?
could be. Well, Patterson and Herring Jr. are going back and forth. Probably just a bit too much for the refs.
Well, Muldrow will throw into Tyler Murray here. Still a 9-point game for the Lightning. Maybe just a little bit closer than they're comfortable with, though.
Well, we mentioned about letting them hang around. And with the slower pace of the game that's happening right now, you know, there's a slower pace. What are they doing to Patterson
Looks like
there?
they're giving Patterson in on that team hug there. You know,
Yeah, you know. See, that's the kind of love. It's a group hug.
Or Patterson just trying to sneakily get in on what they're doing defensively.
Well, I mean, Patterson was here last year, so maybe he got in the wrong huddle.
Just a little confused, not quite used to the Navy. So Josiah Morrow, he'll take 2. Misses 1.
And we mentioned earlier that slower pace, I think, really does suit Niagara. So you slow it down a bit, and you're hanging around. That's the important thing. You don't necessarily need to cover that whole gap right now. You know, you've got a whole quarter after this one.
And Josiah Moore can't convert any of the foul shots. That's not what the River Lions need right now.
Got to make your free throws, kids.
Royce White's going to go right in, and he'll finish with
Ooh.
the right-handed slam.
Ooh.
My goodness.
That's an NBA play right there. Royce White.
The bench loves it for the Lightning. Tyler Murray moves it down, and Marvin Phillips.
Another steal.
And Patterson's going to get the read on that deep pass.
It's a good thing Patterson knocked that out because the roof would have come off this place if that had turned into 2 points.
I mean, obviously the minutes aren't there, but Marvin Phillips making a case for game MVP right now.
He's starting to get more minutes now, but I mean, every time he's been on the floor, he's been making a difference on the defensive end. Kyle Johnson there with a big 3 making a difference too.
Another 3-pointer. 14-point lead for the Lightning now. Tyler Murray out to Carl Hall. Josiah Moore. Nice feed there to Tyshawn Patterson.
Nice bounce pass.
Cadogan establishing the ball on offensive side of the court. Move out to Kyle Johnson. Little jumper, won't go for 2. Murray down the court. Looks to take it himself. And he'll get the foul there. Junior Cadogan. Garrett Williamson coming off the court here in favor of Joel Friesen.
Looks like we're going to have a timeout here. This really has been an interesting third quarter because we mentioned for the River Lions, you've got plenty of time to make the comeback. You don't need to necessarily do it all in the third quarter. You just have to hang around. And these past couple minutes, I believe the timeout was called by Keith Vassell, and I think that's a good call because they were starting to fall back a bit more than you'd like. Keep it within 10, cover the gap later, just stay steady, run your offense the way you want, the points will come. I think the River Lions are just kind of regrouping here and talking about that.
I mean, we saw them come out with a lot of fire, got that deficit down to 5 points. Now we're all the way back to 12. Yeah, they got to find something right now. And obviously the Lightning aren't going to let them have anything less on offense, so might be time to pick it up there on defense.
And I mean, I know it's a new coach, they're working in new defensive systems, but 95 points is a lot to give up before we even hit the fourth quarter. Anytime you do that, you're going to find yourself down. Again, plenty of time to make that comeback, but they do need to start finding a guy who can at least just get it going. Someone you can just give the ball to and see if he can rack up some points right now. We haven't seen any player really on either side in particular really dominate on the offensive end. Other than that stretch that Tyler Murray had in the first quarter, I'd say no one on either team's really taken the reins on offense.
So we'll get back to action here. Tyler Murray's going to shoot 2 here for the River Lions.
Yeah, Lightning over the limit, so pretty much anything's going to be foul shots now.
And the crowd letting Tyler know that they're there. Really getting in his head. Obviously, he loves London. London might not love him back.
Well, I mean, the points he's putting up here. If there's anyone you want to distract, it might be him right now.
And he'll miss the second.
What is with the free throws in this game, man?
The ball will go out off Marvin Phillips, so the River Lions will get a possession.
London's currently shooting 50% from the line, and Niagara 53% from the free throw line.
Just
so, I mean,
unusual.
There's a shooting coach who's watching right now, probably in tears.
Deep inbound pass from Murray there. Out to Josiah Moore. He'll give it to Tyshawn Patterson. Looking to scoop around Friesen. Herring with the rebound. Maybe looking for a quick bucket. Marvin Phillips from 3. Just a little short. Kyle Johnson in there trying for the rebound. Carl Hall wrestles it. Royce White.
I don't think White can really argue that was a foul or not.
He'll look surprised regardless, though. All right, so we'll send Carl Hall to the line for 2 here.
Yeah, and you really got to be careful with your fouls if you're London. You've got 3 minutes left in the quarter, and you're already way over the limit. And again, slower pace, and now they get extra opportunities at the line. Niagara has a really good chance here in these last 3 minutes of the quarter to make good.
We'll get a Marty on for Muldrow there. And Hall will take 2. The crowd really getting into the game now. I feel like they're having a bit more fun with it. You know, the Lightning have opened up a lead. They want to give them, all their support.
You know, I know some arenas frown on the whole distracting guys during free throws things. I love it. I'm a fan of 90s basketball. The more chaotic, the better, right?
Who is it in college that has the curtain of distraction?
Oh, I should know that one.
Someone will have to find that out for us.
It's not Duke, I don't think.
No.
Well, Duke pretty much has an entire arena of them in the Cameron Crazies.
Royce White, second opportunities, unreal here. Tyler Murray down the court. Out to Josiah Moore, being guarded closely there by Friesen. Carl Hall. Back to Moore there. And we'll give him an open 3 shot. Marvin Phillips with the rebound. Herring Jr. Royce White here. Oh, nice spin.
Oh!
And a
Whoa!
nasty dunk by Royce White. Whoa! And there's the top off the arena, folks.
Just listen to that crowd.
Royce White showing off why he was an NBA first rounder there. A great spin move, a nasty bucket, and
The
one.
impact made the upper bowl shake even. Jeez. By the way, thank you. Arizona has the curtain of distraction. Thank you, Susan and Rebecca.
Thanks, Mom. And Royce can't convert another free throw. A big problem for him today. But quick rebound there, though. Herring Jr. had an open shot. He'll dribble. In back to White. And Josiah Moore. And do we have a foul call here?
Yeah, I believe they gave the foul there to White. That might be trouble. Yeah, that's going to be his 4th foul.
That's the last guy you want to see in foul trouble.
No, not at all. Haven't seen Scoop Jardine much. He's back in the game.
Just a little bit of a break there. Obviously, the minutes might be dragging on him.
Well, I mean, Murray's been playing so well, right?
So Moore for 2. Makes his first one. Now, White's going to stay in the game for the moment there.
Looks like they got Criswell ready to come in, though.
Moore goes 2 for 2. And we'll get a quick substitution so Criswell can take Royce White out. Inbound pass here. Out to Friesen. Herring Jr. making his way up the court. Tyshawn Patterson right on his hip. Anthony Criswell into Herring. Just a bit too far. And a steal there by Moore. And out of bounds. Friesen with
Letting
tough
get the
getting
ball
back there.
Only
Tough.
2 seconds on the shot clock, though. It's going to be tough. I think they're talking about whether or not they got to reset it, though. I don't think Moore got possession. So they shouldn't reset it, but I think they're talking about it. Oh, they are going to reset
They
it.
reset the shot clock. So no worries on the Lightning end. Have some time to set themselves up a shot. Herring dribbling around. Criswell set up the screen for him. Back out to Marvin Phillips. Overturn that. He's going to throw a screen down. Herring Jr. getting in there tough.
You know, the way he's been passing the ball since coming to London, people forget he was one of the better scoring stars in NBL Canada as a member of the St. John Millrats. He can really fill it up.
Marvin Phillips trying for another steal on the game. That one won't go. Carl Hall.
Again, just straight to the basket. It's a straight line. It doesn't really matter who's in the way.
All right, Herring Jr. go down the court. Scoop Jardine right on him. Herring looking really good with the ball in his hands right now. Kyle Johnson looks for the quick shot.
This is good defense here by Niagara.
And a short jumper. So Niagara will have last shot unless they go for a quick one. Maybe get this down to a 10 or a 9-point game. Scoop, directing traffic. Try and getting Tyshawn Patterson open there. He'll go into Carl Hall, spins off of Phillips. No call there. Straight up and down. Good defense by Phillips. And at the end of the third, folks, we've got London Lightning 101, the visiting Niagara River Lions 89.
We'll be right back.
All right, we're back in game action here. Fourth quarter beginning. Carl Hall back to Tyshawn Patterson. He'll get in deep. Quick two.
Very nice play there from Patterson.
Herring Jr. moving the ball up the court for the Lightning.
This is almost like the all-heat lineup here for the River Lions. Jardine, Patterson, and Lewis have all been known to really heat up quick, so maybe one of those guys can get going.
Marvin Phillips with a 3-ball. Hits the corner of the rim. Rebound by Patterson out to Scoop. Scoop out to Marcus Lewis. Directing. 10 down on the shot clock. Move out to Lewis, who's got an open shot, and he'll drop it down.
Well, I think that Keith Bissell went with this lineup hoping one of them would just be able to turn it on. And Marcus Lewis, we haven't said his name a ton in this game, but he is one of the better scorers on the River Lions. Maybe he's a guy that they can get going.
Herring Jr. passed out to Ryan Anderson. He'll step back and take a 3, and that's going to be no good. Phillips tried for the rebound, pushes it out to Lewis. Oh, and a big block by Criswell. Tyshawn Patterson did not see that coming.
Looks like Patterson's going to be okay. That was a heavy fall.
Herring Jr. over top of Kirk Williams Jr. with a big 3. Scoop Jardine. He'll take it to the rim himself.
Another hard foul.
Criswell.
Gonna have White come into the game. Phillips gonna go to the bench. It's a pretty strong lineup in the front court right now with White and Criswell. Two tallest guys on the roster.
Well, we've seen the River Lions attempt to get to the rim a couple times so far quick in this quarter, so go strong down low, lock it up, make them take some perimeter shots. Scoop's gonna take 2 here. No go again.
Still kind of have to shake my head at the shooting numbers from three-point line for Niagara River Lions. 17 of 25 three-point attempts.
Scoop will sink the second.
68% shooting. I mean, do you really want to force him to the perimeter?
Ryan Anderson. Royce White gathers that pass. Joel Friesen. He'll dribble. Once again, some tough contested defense here from the River Lions. Criswell. Bad pass. Friesen still collects it. He'll take a quick 3 before the shot expires, but no good, no good.
Again, very good defense, very active defense from the River Lions there.
Scoop Jardine's going to try and get in here on Friesen. Good battle between these two right now. Scoop trying to set himself up. Marcus Lewis wide open out there. Shot contested though.
Great
Scoop
hustle.
picks up the rebound. All over the court right now, it seems. And we're going to say lightning ball.
Just a bit of a chaotic sequence there. Some really nice passing and ball movement by the River Lions, but no one able to finish it.
Herring Jr. is going to move the ball up the court. Direct some friends around. Great shot at the rim there. He chooses to pass. Friesen just outside on that three. Tyshawn Patterson moves into Kirk Williams Jr. And we're going to get a foul call here on Criswell. Really tough move inside there on for Kirk Williams Jr.
Yeah, and they haven't really shied away from it despite the lineup that's out there for the Lightning. Niagara really going after them. I think part of that is they know Royce White's sitting at 4 fouls, so just like London tried to get Kirk Williams in trouble, now I think Niagara's trying to do the same thing to Royce White. He's kept his cool so far.
We'll get Garrett Williamson on here for Joel Friesen.
I didn't even notice Julian Boyd had picked up 5 fouls in the game. So he's one away from fouling out. I don't think we'll see much of him the rest of the game.
And Marvin Phillips going to come on. Not quite yet.
He's going to think about it.
Anthony Criswell is going to sit at the top of the arch there, and he's probably going to come off after this shot. And Williams puts it in. And we'll get the quick substitution here.
The rare double-made free throw in this game.
All right, so we're going to have some tough defense on that inbound. 7-point game. River Lions, like we've said all game, just hanging around. Herring Jr. Ryan Anderson trying to go tough to the rim. Passes out to no one, but Garrett Williamson's there. Marvin Phillips with the jumper. No good. Williamson with the rebound. Anderson for three. No good.
You know, you make one of those points and you really pull ahead there. London really wishing they could have picked up something there.
Into Kirk Williams. He'll get two.
One of the concepts I know my usual play-by-play partner John likes to mention is the rubber band. About how if you let a team stay back, as we see Patterson go for the steal there, not going to work though.
But he'll pick up the foul anyway, Herring Jr.
But one of the concepts John likes to explain is the rubber band, that if you let that lead get to a certain point, it snaps. And it never really snapped. London kept pulling and stretching the rubber band, but Niagara never let it snap. And now you see here the rubber band's starting to shrink a bit. They're starting to bring themselves back here. And I think London might regret letting them hang around as much as they did.
We had the Lightning up by as much as 15. The lead is now down to 5, and Muldrow's going to take a 3, and that's not going to go. Ryan Anderson. Some lazy defense there by the River Lions. Late getting back there.
Yeah, no one really got back, and Ryan Anderson, the opportunist, able to take advantage.
So we'll get Marcus Lewis up the court here, out to Kirk Williams Jr.
You know, that's one of the defensive sequences that drives a coach nuts, because you finally start to bring it back, and then you forget about the other end.
Royce White's going to place, and out of bounds, off of the foot of Scoop Jardine. You know, every possession mattering here now. We're almost down to halfway through the fourth quarter. You don't want to waste it like that.
It's frustrating if you're Niagara, too, to really get that lead back and close, and then not be able to keep that momentum going. You just kind of gave it right back away.
All right, Williamson with the ball here. Wide open Ryan Anderson, and he'll miss that. So we'll get Tyshawn Patterson up the court here. Back to Scoop Jardine. And offensive foul. Great foul drawn there by Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, he did a really good job of making sure the ref saw it. It was a it was a very nicely done job there by Ryan Anderson. I gotta feel bad for the one advertising sign down here. That got a nice stomp from a frustrated player there.
All right, we'll get the inbound there to Doug Herring Jr. All right. Foul there. Garrett Williamson to take 2. One of 2. Can he go 2 for 2? Story of the game. And he does. 108-99. The lead 9 right now for the London Lightning. Tyler Murray's going to dribble. Going to find Sam Muldrow. Marcus Lewis with the ball. He'll get it out to Kirk Williams Jr. He'll throw a floater up. Hoping for the quick oop there. And then he'll take the 3 ball from deep, and that's going to go. Sorry, not going to go. Herring Jr. moving the ball down the court. Garrett Williamson out to Royce White. He's going to power in there. No second chance for him, though. Tyshawn Patterson. Oh, pass too far for Marcus Lewis.
It's not the time for showtime. Can't be making that.
You need 2 points right there.
Yeah. Just get the points. Don't be pretty about it.
Williamson into Doug Herring Jr.
Yeah, we mentioned, pretty points, but I mean, Niagara's done their best when they just get to the rim, when they keep it simple.
It doesn't have to be pretty as long as you're scoring.
I mean, no one really we joked about style points earlier, but no one's really counting that. And I think that's actually exactly why Carl Hall might be coming right back in after this media timeout here, because he's a guy who we've mentioned just gets it done. And I think that's what the kind of plays Niagara needs right now is nothing fancy, just get her done.
All right, we'll be right back after this quick media timeout. All right, welcome back from that quick timeout, fans. 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. What do the Lightning need to do to finish out this game?
I'd say they have to just kind of keep with the game plan. They've done a good job of, they let the Riverlines back, but every time the Riverlines come back, they keep pulling away there. They're doing a good job of that, and I think a lot of that comes to the fact that they're constantly shifting their defense. They're not giving Niagara the same look 2 times down the floor. So I think you just have to keep being versatile and keep switching things up and keep being unpredictable.
8th meeting of the year, 2 teams that are very familiar with each other. Maybe, when you
Very. We've seen these two a lot in the early parts of the season here.
when you get 2 teams like this that see each other so much, even with the disparity in their records, is this kind of more expected than unexpected to see a close game like this?
Well, it's not terribly unexpected. For whatever reason, Niagara seems to step up when they play here. And the Riverlines franchise, there's almost like a brotherly relationship between the 2 teams in that they just constantly want to compete with each other and they use each other as benchmarks. And I think that really translates on the court. That's, again, you're getting pretty. You don't need to.
Yeah, not a great feed there. Friesen's going to go inside to Royce White. Fakes the pass over his head. Carl Hall. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
My goodness.
NBLC Plays of the Week. They're going to have to watch pretty much this entire game because you're going to see maybe 4 or 5 dunks from this game alone. Jeez.
Royce White just taking Carl Hall to school there.
As much as I've liked Carl Hall on offense, I don't know if he's really been able to contain White.
So Tyler Murray going to give the ball there to Carl Hall. Out to Muldrow. He's going to get forced out by Royce White. Steps out before he can bounce the pass off him.
It's another turnover.
Not
27 turnovers from the Riverlines in this game, only 11 from London. And consequentially, points off of turnover, 44 for London, 5 for Niagara.
Phenomenal.
So, I mean, if Niagara just takes care of the ball, it's a very different game.
Niagara's going to take a timeout here. They're going to regroup. They're back down to 12. And they really need to obviously cut out the turnovers here. And
it hasn't felt like a sloppy game, though.
No, maybe start making those ugly baskets, though. Let's get some guys in low and let's contest, right? I mean,
well, again, I think that's why they put Carl Hall in, because he just gets the ball, puts his head down, and straight lines his way to the basket. Like, sorry if you're in the way, but you're coming with him.
And the crowd's still very into this game. They want to see the Lightning close this out in convincing fashion.
Well, we mentioned the brotherly relationship almost between the 2 teams. And I think the fans know it too. There's a certain little, I I guess, excitement in the crowd when Niagara's in town. Just
Well,
because both franchises are very, very similar in the way they were built. Niagara kind of being a London 2.0 as an expansion franchise. So.
All right, let's come back from the timeout here. We're going to have Lightning ball on the inbound. 5 minutes left in the game. 111 for your London Lightning. 99 for the Niagara River Lions. Marvin Phillips will jog back there. Moving some friends back. Doug Herring Jr. Watch closely there by Scoop Jardine. He'll swing that out to Garrett Williamson. Back to Doug Herring Jr. Marvin Phillips looking for Royce White inside. Too strong off the backboard there. Marcus Lewis feeds it to Tyler Murray. He'll look for Muldrow. Jardine gets inside there.
Beautiful little passing play there. Again, Niagara's got a very different look under the new coach, and I think they've got things pointed in the right direction. I know they're probably not happy about being down 10, but they're doing a lot of good things out here.
Marvin Phillips from 3, and he'll drop that. You know, like you said, London just seems to have an answer for everything Niagara's doing right now. You know, they go drop 2, London says here's 3.
Yeah, it hasn't been London, dominating Niagara. It's just been quick responses. Silly foul. Silly foul.
Turnover by the River Lions. London goes down for 2, and we'll take and 1.
Just giving him a free play there. I'm not saying hurt the guy, but if you're going to foul him on his way to the basket, make sure he can't finish the basket. You don't have to, tackle him or anything, but, knock the ball away.
Lightning tying their biggest lead of the game right now. And Williamson will make it the biggest lead. 16 points for the Lightning. Jardine looking to dribble to the interior. He'll feed Carl Hall. Take 2 and 1 more.
Again, just a simple bucket. I like that from Carl Hall.
3:44 left here, 14-point lead for the Lightning. And Carl Hall's going to take 1 here.
Just a little heads up on one of the out-of-town scores. Looks like KW and Orangeville are a couple seconds away from finishing up. That's going to be 94-87 for KW. So, again, the rest of the Central Conference gets really interesting from here.
Doug Herring down the court. And he'll take a foul. Tyler Murray. Really just, I wouldn't say a collapse on the defensive end, but the Lightning just tons of rebounds, getting second chances, and not making it easy for the River Lions at any point.
Yeah, they did a great job with just executing on the offensive end. And, there's a reason they had that win streak. There's a reason they're the top of the Central. They're a very, very good basketball team. Probably among the best we've seen in NBLC history.
And Herring will take 2 tries to put that one in, but it sinks. Jardine with the deep 3, and he'll miss. Carl Hall in there.
Again, you don't need that. Keep it simple. They're trying too hard to make something happen. Sometimes you just gotta let it happen.
Doug Herring's gonna move around that Royce White screen. Gonna feed Joel Friesen. Royce White underneath the basket. A lot of hands going on in there. No foul calls. Another great block. Sam Muldrow. Down at the other end. Nice finish by Marcus Lewis.
Late foul, too.
So we do get the basket there. And Marcus Lewis will take one more. So Scoop Jardine goes off. Tyshawn Patterson in for him. And Lewis with the main. Williamson will take it over half here. Takes it himself.
They're gonna give that foul to Tyler Murray there. Looked like he got caught a bit in the face from Williamson.
Williamson will take two. Just a struggle here today.
Jeez, 61% free throw shooting. I mean, that's so many points that you're just leaving on the floor there.
And you look at the Lightning hitting 120. Think of what it could have been.
Yeah. Well, for Niagara, they've missed 9. You're almost back in the game if you make them.
Yeah. Sam Muldrow backing up against Royce White there. Long pass over to Tyler Murray. He'll drop 3. 10-point lead for the Lightning. 2.5 left. Doug Herring just going to take things easy. Out to Marvin Phillips. He's going to try and find his way, and we'll call a travel there.
Again, the River Lions, they're only down 10. I know it's hard with 2 minutes left, but
Far from insurmountable.
For whatever reason, London just can't drop them.
Murray's going to hold the clock, and he'll get that moving. See if Niagara tries to set up some quick shots. Great move by Sam Muldrow. Better vision by Marcus Lewis there.
Great cut. That was a clearly a set play, because Muldrow, you don't really think of him as that guy who flies to the basket, but he did an excellent job on that play.
So the Lightning will call a timeout here. Kind of regroup a little bit, letting the River Lions go on that run. I think this timeout will just be about finding their footing a little bit, going down the court, using up some clock, taking some smart shots. Still a lot of butts in the seats. Nobody's leaving yet. This one's going to come down to the wire.
Dance pack getting it energized in here.
Flashlight down on the floor. All right, let's get back at this.
I've got to say, the referees have done a great job tonight. I can't think of too many calls where I thought they were bad.
And
almost all of them were on point, and even when we had that messiness a bit with Herring and Patterson, I think they did a great job calming it down.
Yeah, really well handled by the refs. You never want them to decide the game.
Yeah,
and they
I think this is the first time we've talked about them, and if you go this long not talking about them, they're probably doing a great job.
They must be doing something right. Yeah.
So shout out to this crew.
All right. So the Lightning to inbound here. Just about 2 minutes left in the game. Marvin Phillips set at the screen to get Doug Herring Jr. going. He'll try and dribble around Tyshawn Patterson, playing some tight defense again. Marvin Phillips thought about that 3 shot, and a steal by Carl Hall. Last thing you want to see here for the Lightning. Tyshawn Patterson up the court, 6-point game.
And Patterson bringing that energy, and again, you just let them hang around long enough.
Doug Herring Jr. again. He's going to work his way up the court.
Yeah, kill some clock.
Dribble out some clock. Maybe get a friend open and find a nice easy basket here. Royce White finds Marvin Phillips for floater just in front of the free throw line.
Who else too? Marvin Phillips has just made a lot of key plays. I don't think he's leading scorer, he's not leading rebounder, but he's just made a lot of really big time plays.
Carl Hall looking to distribute the ball here. He'll dribble. Out to Tyshawn Patterson. Oh, spins himself off to the rim again. Really is getting some energy going. Joel Friesen dribbling. Nothing too fast right now. Down under a minute. Ryan Anderson. And Marcus Lewis. He's going to
A little too
grab
active.
a foul there.
That's going to put the River Lions over the limit, so going to send them to the line here.
6-point Lightning lead. Anderson to take his foul shots here. And he misses it. You know, if the Lightning had lost this game, there would have been a key thing to point to with 60% free throw shooting. But he'll take the second one, 7-point Lightning lead, and we'll get a Niagara River Lions timeout here.
All right, fans, let's give the dance team a little bit of a break. Let's bring out our good buddy. Please welcome back to the
With
court.
just under a minute left, River Lions will definitely be looking to get some quick shots off. Might even turn into a bit of a foul game here. Pretty exciting game, all things considered. And the crowd's still very well into this game. Both teams will look for some key defensive efforts down the stretch here. Looking at a guy like Marvin Phillips to maybe come up big for the Lightning.
Give it up one more time. That is Flash and Flashlight.
And we'll get both teams back on the court here. Lightning taking a little extra time. We've got Muldrow, Tyler Murray, Marcus Lewis, Tyshawn Patterson. Niagara short one man there. Carl Hall coming on late. Phillips, Anderson, Herring Jr., Royce White, and Joel Friesen close things out for the Lightning. Tyler Murray with the dribble. Gonna feed Carl Hall there. Hall looking to find Muldrow inside. Turnover by the River Lions. Last thing they needed right now. Tyler Murray is gonna foul Herring Jr. Over the limit. Like we said before, Herring Jr. is gonna shoot two.
To the line for Lightning, Doug Harry Jr., 2 shots.
Herring Jr., 1 for 1. See if we can spot the rare 2 for 2. And look at that. We found Nessie. Tyler Murray. He's going to dribble. Looking to find Carl Hall underneath. Double team there by the Lightning. We'll get a foul call here. Doug Herring Jr. Carl Hall's going to take 2 here. 9-point Lightning lead with 31 seconds left. You know, great efforts by both teams' benches today. 44 points from the Niagara River Lions, 42 points from the London Lightning. Marcus Lewis goes tough into the rim. He's going to get fouled. So he'll take 2. Marcus Lewis looking to make things a bit more interesting here. And he can't. Free throw percentages, 64% for the River Lions. Similar numbers for the Lightning. And he'll make 1 of 2 for an 8-point game. Anderson with the ball, being guarded closely. And we'll get a foul call. Tyshawn Patterson here. He'll pick up the foul. Ryan Anderson's going to go shoot 2.
Total line for Lightning, Ryan Anderson. 2 shots.
24 seconds left here in the game. And he'll go 1 for 2. And 2 for 2. 10-point lead for the Lightning now. 24 seconds. Tyler Murray's going to inbound it. Looks like they're not going to go for any quick shot. Carl Hall in there with a tough 2. Still playing tough on D. And it looks like the Lightning will just be able to run this one out. Aaron Jr.'s just going to hold it in the corner. No shot. Time winds down. And London Lightning starting a new winning streak. 127 for your hometown London Lightning. 119 for the visiting Niagara River Lions. Thank you so much for joining the broadcast today, folks. I'm Brendan Jameson for me and my partner Chris Croucher. Have a good evening. Thank you again. And stay tuned for the pregame show, or for the postgame show, sorry. Thank you.
.127 to 119 is the final. Niagara drops their 5th game in a row, and the London Lightning are back to winning ways, probably with no end in sight. Welcome to the Knocksham postgame. Chris Croucher, second half recap. Niagara stuck in it for as long as they could, but it was a big offensive effort and defensive effort from inside that got the Lightning to extend their gap and end it right there.
Yeah, the Niagara River Lions did a great job just hanging around, and London had one of the better offensive nights in terms of efficiency. However, Niagara didn't really let them pull away. I think the defensive effort down low for the Lightning was a big difference because we saw Niagara have success going down low, and as soon as that went away, things got a little disjointed in the back half of the 4th quarter, and I think that's where London really put in the distance.
And the turnover game was crucial for them too.
Yeah.
31 turnovers for the River Lions compared to London's 13. There were plenty of Hail Marys for Niagara. They tried to connect on close shots, but unfortunately their passes weren't close enough.
And it's weird because it didn't feel like they had 31 turnovers. When you were watching, there was so much ball movement, and it looked really good because a lot of their shots came from great passing plays. But at the end of the day, 31 turnovers, you just can't do that. If you have 31 turnovers, more than likely, you're going to lose the game, and that's what happened to Niagara. And it didn't necessarily feel sloppy, but when you like kind of look back on the game, that's where you go, well, there was this pass they probably didn't need to make, and a lot of those ended up building up, and that kind of cost them in the fourth.
And you think it would be a pretty close game because the final stats for the rebound show that the River Lions got edged barely by one, 45-44, pinned that to the London Lightning. So it shows once again how close the rebounding game is when it comes to these two teams. London averaging 48 a game, Niagara averaging 45 a game. So when you add that all together, once again, you may think it's a close game, but London capitalized, and especially Royce White didn't get a double-double tonight, but 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. Good on him.
Yeah, Royce White had a phenomenal game. And really, he didn't necessarily have to do it the entire game, but he really, when London started pulling ahead at different points in the game, it was usually Royce White who was the catalyst for that. I also got to give a special shout-out to Marvin Phillips. He didn't necessarily play a ton of minutes, but he put up great production, and I felt like a lot of the momentum-turning plays came out of Phillips' hands, whether it was a steal or a really big bucket. And I thought the whole front court for London, that second half especially, really stepped up.
Once again, the front court is always intimidating. Royce White, he found a way to overcome that defensive pressure and that effort that Carl Hall, speaking of which, Royce White over Carl Hall, that facial, I'm sure that will be on the top tenor. What do you think, Godley and Chris?
There's like 5 dunks maybe that could probably go on the plays of the week tonight.
You better believe it. It's a slam dunk right there. We'll get out of this one. Quick game break. The KW Titans overcome the Orangeville A's 96-89, and of course that's where Niagara's going to be tomorrow afternoon. They play against KW, and as for the London Lightning, they travel to the Institute where they play against what I think gives them their best competition this year, the Orangeville A's. Stefan Nastic is one of the beasts for the Orangeville A's. How do you overcome that if you're London?
Well, London actually did a really good job against Nastich in his first meeting with London here in London. He had a really good first half, and then in the second half, I thought the Lightning did a good job of just making sure he couldn't get the ball. So whether or not Orangeville actually wanted to run a play for him, there was always someone in the way. And I thought they did a good job of taking away the passing lanes into the post. And then you forced the jump shooters on Orangeville to win the game for them, because they shut down Moss too pretty well until that fourth quarter. And I think that's kind of the prototype or the way that you can beat Orangeville.
That's right.
And the thing is, though, Orangeville's been a much better team at home than on the road, so it's going to be a very different-looking team tomorrow.
And we're going to see that tomorrow, 3 p.m. Tune into A's TV and see the London Lightning play against the Orangeville A's. Chris, it's a pleasure, and we'll see you back here Thursday night. But next time, we'll see you on Knockstrom.tv Wednesday night. The Windsor Express will play host to the Niagara River Lions. So you can see Niagara isn't out of the woods yet because they have to go in the WFCU Center. Pre-game starts at 6:50 Eastern Daylight Time. Incidentally, for you folks, turn your clocks forward before you head to bed, okay? You don't want to miss those big list of games tomorrow afternoon, all right? We'll see you Wednesday, and we'll see you back here at Budweiser Gardens the day after, Thursday night, where the Lightning will host the KW Titans. Once again, final score, 127-119. London Lightning back to the winning things, and Niagara drops their 5th straight. Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation of Knockstrom Digital Media, producing the media excellence in Southern Ontario. For Chris Croucher, this be Aaron Sanders saying so long from the Forest City.